Heather here at LARRS. Today I am going to be answering a question that a lot of you guys have posed to me, which is, what's a better starter reptile, a gecko or a bearded dragon? If you guys are interested in learning more, definitely stay tuned and remember to hit that subscribe button. So I get this question a lot from a lot of people who are first-time reptile owners or want to be first-time reptile owners. They always ask, what is a better starter reptile, a leopard gecko or a bearded dragon? So first of all, I'd like to say I don't really like to label any animal a starter animal. Each and every single one of the animals out there, no matter if you're looking at dogs or cats or lizards or birds or whatever you might be looking at for an animal, is going to have its own set of care needs. So I, without further ado, will introduce who I have with me today. So this little guy right here, and I keep trying to convince her he's not food, this is little Mikey, and Mikey is a leopard gecko. Now, he's not been bred for his colors or patterns or anything like that. He is just what you would call a normal leopard gecko. Beautiful, in my opinion. This girl right here, her name is Penelope. We call her Penny for short. She's super duper healthy, super duper sassy, and she super duper wants the hornworms that are sitting in the next room. So there's a different set of instructions for taking care of each one of these animals, and they can both be really good starter animals for someone looking to get more experience with reptiles, but their setups are completely different. So let's start with Penny here. Penny's setup is going to be a 40-gallon tank. That is the minimum size that you're going to want to go with for a tank. Ideally, if you're looking at doing something with a bearded dragon, you're going to be looking to build an enclosure that is 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot long. So you're going to want something really, really big. You're also going to want to let them out of their enclosure and let them kind of run around in your home and kind of peek things out and find their way around and explore their new space. Let's flip over to little Mikey here sitting on my hand. Leopard geckos definitely don't need as big of an enclosure, but the rule of thumb is still, you know, if you can give them enough space, you should really provide it. We keep all of our leopard geckos in 20-gallon enclosures. And the enclosure setup that we have for these guys is very, very basic, but it covers all of the necessities. We combine our moist hide with our warm hide for leopard geckos. For us here at the rescue, it serves our purposes. It allows us to provide what leopard geckos need. But it keeps their setup fairly simple. Now, at the rescue, and you're going to notice this also about our bearded dragon enclosures, their setups are very simple as well. The reason for that is because we need it nice, simple, and basic so that we can monitor the health of the animals that we have. I always tell everybody you can learn a lot by looking at a reptile's poop. And these guys can't talk like birds, you know. And even birds, it's difficult, right? They can't verbalize exactly what they need. And so we need to look for other things. The care for a leopard gecko is also different because leopard geckos don't require any light, and actually light can be bad for leopard geckos because their eyes are so super sensitive to light. So regular day and night cycle is just fine, but during the day you guys are going to find these guys hanging out in a cave because they're nocturnal. And so we don't provide any additional light in the enclosure. We just kind of let the light from outside come in and kind of shine in the cages And then, you know, at night we'll turn all the lights off, and that's when these guys start getting really super active. Penelope is trying to get away from me. I call her Penny when she's behaving, and I call her Penelope when she is misbehaving. So I'm gonna see if I can scoot her back here. I have promised hornworms if she promises to behave for this video. So far, she's not doing great. So a setup for a bearded dragon is gonna be a little bit different. For a bearded dragon, you're going to want light and you're gonna want heat on the enclosure. And we do that for bearded dragons a different way than what we do that for leopard geckos. So for a bearded dragon, you're gonna need to have a UVB bulb, preferably a strip bulb, which is what we use at the rescue. And then additionally, you're gonna want the temperatures a little bit hotter than what it's gonna be for a leopard gecko. And you're also gonna wanna achieve those temperatures with a heat bulb. So whereas with leopard geckos, we use a heat mat with a thermal regulator so that we can make sure, okay, bye. So for leopard geckos, we use a heat mat with a thermal regulator, and we keep that at 90 degrees. That's really the optimal temperature for them to be able to digest their food. We do have a gradient, however, and we will have just the warm side at that 90 degrees and then no heat on the other. Now, inside of that tank, the tank warms up a little bit more, so the gradient is less dramatic than the actual air surrounding the enclosure, and it tends to stay right around that 76 degree mark, which is totally fine for leopard geckos. If you're going with a bigger enclosure, like a 40-gallon enclosure, you are going to want to set up multiple warm hides for the leopard gecko. You don't want them to stray too far away from their heat source, because that means they're not going to be able to digest their food. Reptiles, cold-blooded, they need heat in order to digest their food, and it's no different with our sassy little friend here. So for bearded dragons, the temperature is going to be a little bit different. You're going to look for temperatures for an adult bearded dragon around that 95 degree mark. I think I just made her upset. Penny, put that mouth away. Adult bearded dragons can have a temperature around 95 degrees in their basking area. Any hotter than that might be a little bit too hot for them. And then if you've got an alpha bearded dragon, you're also going to be dealing with a dragon that doesn't want to move out from underneath the heat. They can get hot spot burns on their back. It happens really easily. For babies, obviously the temperature is a lot different. You're going to want to try to get that temperature around 105 degrees. These guys also have a different diet requirement as well. So leopard geckos, like little Mikey here, are insectivores, only insectivores. Now, bearded dragons, you're going to be getting insects as well as vegetables. So you're going to want to make sure that you're prepared to take care of an animal like that. Okay, Mikey, so I promised little Miss Penelope here that she could have some hornworms if she was a good dragon. And although I'm not very convinced that she's been a good dragon, I'm still gonna give her some hornworms. Would you like to join her in a hornworm snack? What is that? Okay. Woo! Not that. Oh yeah. Oh, juicy. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed making it. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us either via our Facebook page or via email, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.